to talk about both the noun and the verb for use and use, uses and uses, help you to use these smoothly, correctly, and easily in your everyday speech. So one thing to watch out for many words in American English, when we have the letter S or the letters SE at the end of the word, they will say the Z sound. So the most common use of this word, I would say, is the verb to use. I use something, and this letter S says the Z sound. I've rewritten the word for you here, spelling it more like the word you with a Z. This is also a case where letter U says a glide sound, like a Y sound, plus the oo sound. So when you can say use by itself, then when you make it plural, uses, you add another Z sound and a vowel I sound. I use it, and he uses it. So we have two Z sounds in there. And the Z sound is most clearly heard because I link it together with the next word. So if I was just saying I use, which is not really something we say by itself, my Z wouldn't be really strong. It wouldn't be I use with a strong, loud Z. It would be I use. It's almost like a light little S. But when I have another word following, I use it, I use that, we can clearly hear that Z sound. So that's an accent error pattern to watch out for, and also something just to be aware of, to know that it's a Z sound when you're using it as a verb. Another good example, using, sounds like using. So making sure you have that Z sound, not using, but using. Many of you naturally use the Z sound when you're linking and when you're saying a word like using or used, but you may not be aware that that is the sound that you're using. Then when we have the noun use, the use or a use, this is a little less common in terms of its use, but you can hear how it naturally comes up. And so that just means whether or not I have a use for something, the purpose of it or the use of it. We also use that for the use of subtitles, the use of English, etc. And in that case, we change the pronunciation, and our letters SE say the S sound, the S, voiceless sound, rather than Z. So I wrote that here with two S's because typically when you see two S's, you can count on that being voiceless S sound. The beginning of the word is still the same. We have the glide and the oo vowel. So for example, you would say something like, I have no use for it. And then when that gets plural, we add the I and the Z sound. So words that end with the S sound, like use or bus, when we add it, the plural, we have to add a syllable. So use, uses, bus, buses. And that second S that we add is a Z sound. So for example, it has many uses, and this might be challenging for some people because you have to say an S sound and a Z sound. And your mouth may want to do two of the same. It may want to do uses or uses. It might not like doing uses. If that's the case for you, try either just saying is by itself with that Z sound, or sizz starting on S and ending on Z, and then you can add your U. So trying sizz, uses, many uses, and build it up into some short phrases once you are comfortable with what sounds you're trying to say. Visualizing it with this different spelling may help you. Also, just listening more carefully for native speakers around you, their use of the word, listen to how someone uses it. You can start to tune in to hearing those S and Z sounds more clearly once you start paying attention. Thank you so much. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye, everyone. Hope to see you again soon.